Hey, I'm Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm going undercover on the internet. It's actually me. First up, Twitter. Do you think the Doctor Strange hand movements for spells were choreographed, or was it just Benedict Cumberbatch improvising? No, some thought went into them. I think we're kind of done with the kind of circular movement. We'll see that evolving, I think, in the next instalment. But no, the hand movements in general, the bigger spells, that was really carefully choreographed, and it was Julian, who's this amazing tutter, which is the word for kind of like the breakdancing of hand movement. He's an expert in creating incredible shapes and illusions of seemingly impossible conjunctions of knuckles and fingers and hands and wrists. And then obviously, he'd give me something that was impossible, and then I'd say, look, I'm an actor, and we'd break it down into cumber chunks so that I could actually do it, and it looked reasonably good, and like I had some possession of what I was supposed to be doing. Next question. What's your favourite part about being on set with the Avengers? My favourite part about being on set with the Avengers is the camaraderie and the companionship. It's just a fun place to be. It's hard work, the long hours, but you spend a lot of time in isolation getting ready and prepping, putting the costume on, and the makeup can take a long time. And then you're there and you're on the field and you're doing what you're doing with an amazing bunch of actors, frankly. So it's kind of inspiring to look around, and then once you've got over being starstruck, it's just a really fun day at the office, as you can imagine. Long, but fun. Ryan Fuller wants to know, haha, have you ever seen Benedict Cumberbatch try to say penguin? There you see. You just did. Bernadine Bauman-Murray, that's a name, says Benedict Cumberbatch. The current war, as opposed to the current war. It looks interesting, but why are so many US citizens being portrayed by Brits? Maybe that's just perception. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Thomas Edison. I don't know. I think we get to share quite a lot of traffic in that department, my friend. Bernadine, Meryl Streep gets to play Margaret Thatcher. I don't know, listen, acting's a job, and you get to be a lot of things other than yourself, and not blowing my own trumpet, but you just have to be good at it. And if you are good at it and you get trusted to do something, like playing an American icon like Edison, you work very hard to honour the trust and faith that people have in you. So I don't know if it is just Brits. I think Australians as well. There are lots of other than American actors playing American roles. But I do think the traffic goes both ways, and that's a very healthy state of affairs culturally. We can't and shouldn't all be typecast or stick to our own nationalities even. Do you think Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch ever share Sherlock Holmes stories or fight over who the best Sherlock? We certainly don't fight over who the best Sherlock is. We're really lucky. We've worked in these two franchises playing iconic characters. And, Johnny Lee Miller's also a friend, and it's interesting. I've yet to have a real discussion with Robert about that. Or Johnny, really. I mean, yeah. We've said how funny it is that we get to play these characters, and here we are doing something together in a completely different world, different characters. It's a bit of a dull answer, isn't it? I should have said, yeah, we do. And I'm the best. Bye-bye. IMDB, font of misinformation. Okay, so my 5 trademarks are apparently that I've got a deep baritone voice, piercing blue-green eyes, sharp cheekbones, often portrays posh upper-class figures. Alan Turing wasn't necessarily upper-class. Doctor Strange is very privileged and very smart, but not necessarily upper class. It's more the class of money, I guess, in this country. Yeah, I don't know, American posh people, or just people who aren't upper class. But I like to mix it up. It also says usually plays highly intelligent and gifted characters. Yeah, I've got an odd face. Maybe that's why I get to pretend to be smart. But I play a character coming up called Greville Wynn in a film called Ironbark, who's a working class salesman who worked his way up the greasy class pole to being a middle class salesman, married into someone from the upper classes, but still he was basically a salesman for industrial goods and ended up being a conduit for MI6 during the Cold War and making friends with the highest ranking Soviet official that ever to turn informant, Oleg Penkovsky in Russia. And he was a very ordinary man doing an extraordinary thing. So take that, IMDb. He experienced a terrifying carjacking in South Africa while filming To the Ends of the Earth in 2005. He wrote about the experience in an article for the Prince of Wales Trust, for which he is an ambassador. True. About how music can inspire you, and a particular piece that Radiohead did came on by accident whilst we were being driven off-road by 3 guys coming to raid the car for what it was worth, tie us up, and psychologically kind of torture us and give us a pretty rough ride. Thank God, not too much violence. I was put in a boot of a car, my hands tied behind my back and gun put to my head, so that was a sparky night in a very big country. Famous for my Alan Rickman impressions. Yes, God rest his soul. Sometimes as an actor you're looking for the infinite. Oh, did I really say this? This is going to be awful. I hate IMDb. If you can hold that, if you can remember that in the chaos, it will anchor you and give you grace and ease. I don't know, I must have been tired, stoned or jet-lagged or all of those things. I you can remember that in the chaos. What chaos? Chaos of fame? I mean, you don't look for the infinite in fame. I don't know. I really don't know where the context of this was or even if I said it. And trust me, the amount of shit I'm credited with saying that I haven't said is unbelievable. Reddit. What are the best names you've heard for Benedict Cumberbatch? I've heard them all, sweetheart. I've heard them all. Goodbye. Reddit. If Keanu Reeves and Benedict Cumberbatch were in a movie, what would the plot be? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we were friends and kicked ass. I don't know. Wikipedia. He subscribes to Buddhist philosophy and has expressed affinity for meditation and mindfulness. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Cumberbatch did not achieve international recognition until the first series of Sherlock in 2010, since been called the Thinking Woman's Crumpet. Yeah, it was very weird, that sudden moment, and it's odd, it's the first time I've really experienced the live nature of a recorded broadcast. And it was just bizarre, like the internet reaction. I didn't really know what Twitter was until that night. I didn't know that there was this sort of space for a live reaction from an audience. It was kind of freaky. This just blew up in that moment to the point that I thought we were going to walk out the door and have like press abseiling out of helicopters and like flashbulbs going off in hedgerows because it was so loud. And yet I just walked out, there was just a slightly wet, empty street. Normal life continued. It's great that the series got so much love and that our work was rewarded and we got to do so much other things as artists. That freedom is great, but the cost of that is fame, and that's a weird, unruly beast. In September 2016, appeared on stage with Pink Floyd member David Gilmour during one of the musician shows in London, held up the roll-up before he sang lead vocals on Comfortably Numb, singing the verse section originally sung by Roger Waters. And I'm proud because I survived to tell you that that is true. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was looking for guys in like florries to literally know where my out was medically, because I was like, yeah, this is it, that's it, that sort of numb feeling, this shortness of breath, my chest is tightening, I'm going to collapse. I'd watched this entire concert and it was a gift to any fan of Gilmour. And then I waddle on, people go, what? Sherlock's going to sing to us? You know, it was very, very weird, but then I got into it and it was amazing. But I literally thought I was going to die before I went on, so sorry, I wanted to take that one. What is Quora? Is it like a public forum where people answer the got you? I think I do know this. Is Benedict Cumberbatch the best Sherlock Holmes of all time? That's nice. Which Benedict Cumberbatch character role do you like the best? I don't do favourites, sorry. You'll have to decide these things. Or Quora should. Why doesn't Benedict Cumberbatch have any social media accounts? Because I'd be terrible. It would take me too much time and I'd overdo it. How many times did Benedict Cumberbatch read Sherlock Holmes novels to get into character? Pretty much every time we did a series, anything that it touched on, I'd go back to the canon and just kind of rootle around in it, and that's the best research you could possibly do for an iconic role like that. It's all there. It's all there. Watson recorded it all. Thank Internet for questions. Goodbye. It's not really me, it's a hologram. Bye-bye. Can't get up the chair.